I think it was the first time I've actually heard the voice of the Lord when the devil said to me, and I literally, you're not in the choir, so you can do whatever you want to do. I literally hear that.
Well, I can remember I went to my bed 3 different nights and I got 3 different dreams. I saw her in my dream.
Yes.
Yeah. And the third dream, I remember in the third dream, I approached her and I said, I really like you and I'd like to be with you. And she said to me, you're too late.
How have you guys made it work with the distance?
Well, he's not here, and the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar because even though I don't even know that he knows that when he prays, it does something to me and to this home. I love when a man lead.
It's yet to come. God's gonna really blow your mind. It's yet to come.
And now for our featured presentation.
Hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with the Least.
Wonderful to have you guys again. We are again happy and delighted to have you as our subscriber, as our family member. We call it subscriber, as a family member. And we are just saying welcome, and thanks for the support that you're giving. And we look to your continued support. And remember, we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And with your help, guys, we'll get there. All right. Now, we have been going through, we started rather a series called Marriage Works. The last time we see the views going up because we had the Christians on, and we have another one for you, and another good friend of ours,
Beautiful
good friends of ours, a beautiful couple. Maybe you are having a long distance relationship. We have a couple, our good friends, the Grahams, and they are going to tell you how they have been managing with a little distance in their relationship and how they still made it work.
And keep it going strong.
And keeping it going strong. So join us in the conversation. But this is a very good one, guys. So we want to welcome the Grahams. So guys, as we said, we are back with another video, and we want to welcome to the topic, Marriage Works, and we are introducing our very good friends, the Grahams.
Hey, good night.
So, please introduce yourselves. We know you, but what the rest of family members to know you.
Yeah, man. Hey, good night, Lee family. My name is Rayon Graham. I am from Clarendon.
Hello, everyone. I am Tanisha, and I am a mother of a beautiful baby girl, 3-year baby girl. I consider myself as a no-nonsense person.
Oh, yes.
And I am quite an organized person. I love to see things in place at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Which parish do you hail from? Rayon is from Clarendon. Which parish do you hail from?
I'm originally from St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. All right. Nice. So, and again, just like how we were talking with the Christians guys, and you see how we were well relaxed. The Grahams are just as good with us, and so you're going to find us just a reason to go along. So, right, you're in for a very good interview. All right, so let me ask the question. I'll go first. How long have you been married?
All right, so I'll go first. We've been married 4 years plus.
4 years
going
plus.
On 5. Yeah, we're going on close to 5 years.
Remind us of the date again. Was it? Is which day? And that's it.
It was
which month and day?
September 8, 2018.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I have something I want to share. Keep all this emotion. This is no big surprise, but I have something I want to show you guys.
Okay.
You guys remember this?
Yes, you do. I think we have one on the dresser now. We have one hanging on the dresser now.
Right. So
We still
we
have one.
kept ours. Just like this
Cool one.
you stick this.
Yeah, Michael, bro.
We kept
I
ours.
think we can replace that. I was going through a few stuff the other day and I found a few souvenirs that we have left over from the wedding.
That's a problem. You bring them on.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring them on. Alright, so Michelle,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
answer this
so the
question.
next question is, how did you both meet each other? How did you meet?
All right, so we work together. So we met at work. We actually met on the job. Yeah.
Rayon, you have to tell
sir.
you the full story. Nobody the foolishes.
That can
Tell us the full story.
That for me is the whole story. We met on the job.
Yes.
She was transferred to my location. I think it was 2016 thereabout. She was transferred to my location. So 2015. She
Okay.
was transferred to the location that I work. We used to work for the same company.
Right.
Yeah. So that's basically we met through that channel on the job.
All right. So because me know the business, we gonna talk the business now. You know. Listen now. So when you first saw her, Mr. Graham,
Yeah.
what was your impression?
I was like, well, she's a pretty nice lady. Basically at that time, I wasn't looking in that direction. Basically, in her direction. So, yeah.
So, what was it that made you start looking in her direction?
Well, to be honest, I liked her. To be honest, I liked her secretly.
Yes.
And so while we were there, and I can remember I went to my bed 3 different nights, and I got 3 different dreams. I
Oh,
saw
Lord.
her in my dream.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, the first 2 dreams were like it was normal interaction. We were just having a convo. And the 3rd dream, I remember in the 3rd dream I approached her and I said, I really like you and I'd like to be with you. And she said to me, you're too late. Someone else has already proposed.
Right.
And I mean, from that moment when I got up from that dream, I remember I had a cousin. His name's David, and I said, Dave, you know, say, I'm feeling a particular way about this young lady.
Yes.
And he said, just tell her. And yeah, I did.
So Tanisha, when you saw him for the first time, did he even cross your mind any at all?
Not in the least. I guess the thing that seeing him as a person,
Yes.
as operates at work, it was quite impressive because of how we actually work, how we deal with the customers, and
Right.
both internal and external.
Right.
But as it pertains to being with him, that was the furthest thing from my mind.
Okay. All right. So, is it that? Because tell us about. Because you are now both. Well, you're both Christians living for the Lord. When you met him, was he a Christian, or when he?
No.
Right.
No, he wasn't.
And okay, so when he approached you now, knowing that he was the Christian, what was your first reaction?
Well, I guess what was my first reaction? Well, he knows that I'm a Christian, and oftentimes we normally have conversation in the shop, and he would, well, I found out that he was listening.
Yes.
Right. So he actually knew, and he was like this prayer warrior, because that was what he thought I was.
Yes.
A prayer warrior.
Yes.
Right? So I guess for him to actually approach me, he must actually make up his mind that, you know, I have to go this particular way.
Yes.
But for me, I was like, Chow, a joke in my make. When he actually approached me, I
Yes.
was like, he's joking, because I have heard about his history as it pertains to
Okay.
multiple. So that was, that was a little bit like, I'm like, you're joking, you're not for real, because we're in two different worlds. But then when he actually approached me and then he started to make a lot of changes, for himself, then that's when I actually started to consider what he actually said, right?
So what were some of the changes you saw?
Well, he was just different in terms that, the first time he came to church with me, it was as inspiration, and he offered to come, because I am always talking about church in the shop, like always, whatever activity or event I'm in a church, I would normally, let them know I'm leaving early because I have to go to church.
Right.
So he was willing, and he asked to come to this inspiration with me, and I mean, it wasn't so hard for him to come to church. So that was one of the first thing that he actually started to do, that kind of said, well, since as him actually come and say that he's interested, that, this look like it's for real.
Right.
Because, he might become the prayer warrior way. So.
because quite frankly, what he heard in the shop or at the store, at the workplace, he knew unequivocally he had to be bold, and he had to he must decide himself and make a decision.
Yes.
And you did, sir.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't a hard transition for me. It was actually quite smooth.
Yes.
Being as I was a Christian before, I was a backslider.
Okay.
So it wasn't a hard transition for me going back to being a Christian. A child of God.
No, going forward to being a Christian.
Going forward.
That's right.
Going forward to being a child of God, and it wasn't a hard transition. I mean, I think I had already been through a lot in terms of life.
Right.
And I being as I had that dream, I had made up my mind that, look, I wanted this, because I had my eyes on her anyway, so.
What were some of the qualities, sir, that you saw, apart from you doing so much, that serious woman of God?
Loving, caring, beautiful smile, trust me.
Yes.
Yeah, she has a beautiful smile, and she's sweet, she's caring.
Yes.
And she thinks about others, not only herself. So that for me, being selfless. So yeah, that for me was one of some of the qualities that I.
So guys, we just walked in on the shot now. That's her little daughter, Rhea. Hi, Rhea.
Say hi. Wave your hand. Say hi. Say hi.
All right, that's all right. So you made the transition, and you gave your life to the Lord, or recommitted your life to the Lord.
Yeah, recommitted. Yeah, that would be the better.
How soon or how long did it take for you to make to make the proposal?
You mean propose to her?
Yeah, to propose to her.
I hear in about 6 months.
Year and 6 months.
Yeah, thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So before we get to the next question, we just want to set the stage.
Okay.
When you decided that, what before that, how did you make your transition forward to serving the Lord? What was your mindset at the time, knowing that you're coming to recommit your life to the Lord? What was your mindset for the first year? Because it took what, a year and how'd you say?
6 months.
A year and 6 months. My mindset was actually just getting to be in that place of faith where I am not bothered by the things of the world again. I mean, I started fasting because I said I was already used to that lifestyle before. So for me, my mindset was just like getting to that place of being in the presence of the Lord and seeking His presence to be with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because guys, as we said, we know them business. there was a time when Rayon came, when Rayon got recommitted his life to the Lord. We saw at a point where Tanisha was like, sir, he might forget me, because he was so focused on God,
which is good. That was a good
we saw a level of focus. What was that driving force that says I need to just zoom in, look more upon the Lord? And Tanisha had to just say, you know what, I understand, I'm just taking a back page though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say I was neglecting her in any sense, but I mean, getting to, I mean, for me, I take Christianity very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I got saved when I was 14 years old, and I grew up in a Christian home.
Right.
My mom was a missionary, God rest her soul, and my daddy, he's a deacon, he's a musician also. And I mean, I've grown up in the faith.
Right.
So, and I know what is expected of a man of God. So, for me, it was just having that focus set, that mindset on the things of God.
Oh yeah, and I just want to say that's a good thing as well, because it shows that even though she is a person that you saw when she invited you to church, you did not just come to church for her. Even if that was the case, you really met God again.
Right.
And that's a good thing. And to the fact that even if she's asking, oh no, remember me, it's a good sign, because now she gained two things. She's not only gaining a person that have that love and interest in her, but she's gaining someone now who is reconnecting with God in a way that, which is also her desire, because before she can really even say, take up the offer of maybe getting you better. It puts your mind at ease to know that, wow, it's 2 in 1. He really knows the Lord and he's really interested in the Lord. So I can imagine that was really a good thing. So I want to ask Tanisha now, how did you feel knowing that, yes, you invited him to church and he did come, but even if he came at first sight because of you, he is now reconnecting with God and really building a relationship with God. So how did that make you feel?
Well, that felt good, because being in the church, and you both know that I've been around from high school days. I haven't done things right in the past, but I've always been there. And my desire, I have desired a husband who rooted and grounded. So for him to come and for him to take a step away from me for that particular time, and to really, I mean, at one point, the brother prayed more than me. Yes, it was like that. Every night we have to do like we used to do it on the phone, Bible study, just the two of us. So it felt good to know that even though Sister Lee said that he came, it wasn't just for me alone, but he met Jesus. Right. And that was one of the greatest things. I felt really good.
All right, so
that's beautiful.
So how did you propose, sir? How was the proposal? And how was the proposal?
Alright, so the proposal was it was a big surprise for her.
Right.
I don't know, I work in mysterious ways at times. I got the ring size, that's the one I got the engagement ring. I remember I went to Mandeville. Yes. And I bought the engagement ring, and me and her cousin Bella, we planned the engagement. Yes. Along with some of her choir members, the choir members at church, and a few members, so a few other members. We did, I think, it was at CDEC. I did it at CDEC, and I had all the guys hid in the back at CDEC, and I told her that, look here, we're going to CDEC to meet someone.
Right.
And we were there, and she was, at one point, she was getting frustrated because she was like, where are the person? And I'm saying of it. And then Bella showed up, and Bella took her outside. And when Bella took her outside, I asked everyone to come out. And at that time, when everyone came out, now Bella brought her back inside. And I mean, when she came in, she started to cry because when she saw everyone, she knew something was up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was a big surprise. It was actually a very good.
I remember
proposal
Tanisha.
for me.
I remember Tanisha looking at me and said, "Sir."
Yes, I remember that too. She said, "Sir," and she did not
That's true. 'Cause that same night
Yes.
it was just excellent. I remember we were hiding at the back, as Brother Graham said, and at one point, we're fair shuffle up.
Yeah, like
Because the place was so too. It was so many of us, and the place was so small. And the one that said, "Oh, she's gonna see us. She's gonna see us." So we begged to pour a cup. So it was magical. It really was a magical thing.
Well done, well done, Ryan.
Yeah,
Right, so let's go back into some of the questions we sent now. So you got married. How was living together for the first 2 years?
Well, for me, it was different. I am used to a household full of people, right?
Yes.
I was full of people. I'm accustomed to family in terms of, my family. There's a lot of us used to live. I wasn't accustomed to be paying bills on my own.
Right.
I was not accustomed to be buying groceries on my own. It was a lot of changes.
just a minute.
Right. So you're telling us, Tanisha, how was it living for 2 years? And you spoke about paying bills.
Yeah, bills.
Right.
Yeah, because now it was just the two of us. At one point, I started crying. I said I want to go back home. I told him, and he was like, "Go on, go back over standby." Because I said, "This is it.
Yes.
It's just the two of us now." But it was a little bit different until we started to kind of put things together. We started to plan and say that this is what I am going to do. This is what you are going to do, and this is what we are going to do.
Yes.
And it kind of started to come together, and that's how I coped. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Rayon, how was it for you?
Well, for me, it wasn't that hard.
Yes.
I am more of a structured person in terms of I'm resilient. I love a challenge.
Yes.
And for me, it wasn't hard. Trust me. I am used to. I've been living on my own. I was living on my own at the time. So for me, I would have already had a system in place where I know what I was paying my bills. I was paying rent, light bill, water bill, the work. So I had already known what was expected. Yeah. And what was to be done. So for me, it wasn't hard. It was just getting her up to
speed.
up to speed. Yeah. And she is a bit reserved.
Yes.
And can love our money. So.
So we just see the deplete. Don't just say no.
It's not a matter of loving the money because I'm used to. I am a saver. Well, I do save,
Right.
and I used to save. I used to save. So it's not a matter of love. I never have any reason to be spending.
Right. Except on shoes.
Except on shoes and hats, right? I know that one. So it's not a matter of loving money. It's just a matter of that I wasn't used to doing all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So God gave you a good match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Beautiful. The next question that we want to ask is, what annoy you most about each other, like as a couple? Like, what would annoy you most, if there's anything that annoys you most about each other?
Well, what annoys me, Rayon, is a little bit stubborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rayon don't
do things. He do things when he's ready to do things, right? At times he don't do things the same time. I can't tell him to do it. Like, I'm telling him he wants to do it at his own timing.
Yes.
And there are times when things must be done like now. So In stubborn. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying sometimes.
So it's now 4 years going on 5. Has there been an improvement in that area? While Rayan think about what annoys him on your side.
Well, it has. There are times when it's still happening.
Okay.
It's a man thing. I would say it's a man thing.
It's a man thing.
Come on, when it's a man thing. It is a man thing. You just have to learn.
There are things.
There
There are things that need to be done immediately and get them done immediately. There are some things that can be there are delayed responses and them have the delayed
But I think
response.
that's it is, even though it may annoy us, there comes a time that we love it. There comes a time that we do love it too.
Love what?
That we don't have to maybe tell you guys what to do. You know exactly. And if there's a decision where we're iffing about, we say, well, we're doing this. So it have its stage.
It have its place, right.
Go ahead.
In my defense, I'd like to say 75% of those things can wait.
Where is it the percentage that we're talking about? The percentage, sir. Go ahead.
75% of those things that I'm not doing right away can wait. Could have waited.
So what is that you find annoying?
Find annoying.
She asked you to do the 75%?
I don't think there's much that annoys me as it relates to my wife.
That's good.
I don't have an annoyance from her.
Excellent.
That is really
excellent.
good.
Now, Michelle would have asked you this question, but I want to ask you this question for a reason. The next question is, I remember in this Tanisha mentioned, I said, boy, should know your history. You know your history. And when you approach her, she was like, you're a joker, you're not serious. All right. So the question follows, how did you know that she was the one? Because you had a history, but you said, no, he is the one. And in turn, Tanisha, when did you accept that he was the one? But go ahead first, sir.
All right, so for me, as I said before, that dream that I had really opened my eyes to, well, the floodgates of my feelings then to just burst out. I mean, at that moment when I woke up, I just started thinking about it, and I started making changes like right away.
Yes.
Because I mean, I was in several relationships at that time, and I ended all. Before I even went to her, I ended all of them. So for me, my mind was already set that she was the one after that dream. So I ended everything before I even went to her and told her how I actually felt.
Yes.
I mean, I ended everything. I just cut everything off.
And you burned all the bridges.
I burned all of them. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
so Tanisha, when did you know that this is the guy?
Well, he had some qualities that I said before, some desired qualities that a young lady would really desire, like not on the spiritual side as yet, because it never reached there as yet. But him being a person, his mother would normally visit her shop because she worked on the same plaza at the time where we were in Maypen. And whenever she comes, I mean, the way in which he deals with his mother, that speaks volume. I mean, he's a mama's boy. I found out later started out that he's a mama's boy.
I'm an only son. So.
Yes, and he's the only son, so you know that he was rotten, spoiled.
Oh my!
But the way in which he deals with his mother, and the way in which he deals with the customer, I said internal and external customer, he's very good with people. Very good.
Right.
Yes, he can be a little bit, withdrawn sometimes, but he's very good with people. So that kind of, and when he came to me and then he started to make the little changes, I'm like, then he think, a man of his, background or character.
Yes.
Changes, and I mean, persons in our workplace was like, so Biggs really changed, and him really had changed, and every day somebody come and they say that, him look different, him talk different and all of that. So me I say, if he can, do all of that,
Yes.
then we're gonna take a shot at it, and we did, and here we are.
4 years later, and
Yeah.
counting. Oh,
Right.
I think we just heard breaking news. Is Rayon, aka Biggs?
Yeah, big one.
Breaking news.
He's like,
That's his name.
I am big. Yeah, that's what they call me in the streets.
Street.
Yeah.
Right, so we have some questions I wanted to send to you, and we're
it's
gonna
not hard.
this segment is
Fun.
called is a fun segment called Who's Most Likely To. All right.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
All right, so the first one is, who is most likely to fall asleep?
Okay, no.
Yeah, fall asleep after intimacy.
Going point, I was going to call names.
Intimacy. Fall asleep, like quicker.
All right, so we're going point, or we're going to call names.
No,
It's up to
Up to
which
you.
way you want to do it.
That's true.
I'll fall asleep, but I gave a lot.
The men must.
I think it happened to Raynar. It happened to me. It
Yeah.
happened to Rian. That's it. We call it a
Yeah, we give a lot. Yeah.
All right, so the next question is, who is most likely to spend? Like, so for instance, you go out on the road and you never really plan for it.
When that's like, is there our money? Who is the first one to think about spending?
Okay.
Oh, it's Rian.
Yes,
It's me.
Yes.
It's me.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
he will spend every dollar.
So hence you're the saver.
Yes,
That's good.
I will spend, but he will spend more. In the whole back, him just do him have to do and get it over with.
Good.
That is a good God. All right. So who's most likely to cry after watching a movie?
Oh, son.
Well,
All right, I'd say both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
it can be sad sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I'll Titanic to make you cry for days.
I didn't cry about Titanic. I was like, what a stupid show.
You watch
Look here, I shed a few tears at Titanic.
You
What?
did.
I show
Isn't it? I mean, look at see more people and then know the man are dead and you don't help him. I was like,
Yeah. But yeah, the first time I shed a few tears, though.
all right.
Oh, sorry, man, my glasses. Okay, who is most likely to start a quarrel? Well,
Whoa.
Yeah, I did.
I do
Tanisha, you gotta own up with her.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Last one in the segment. Who's most likely to start the makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who?
You, Tanisha.
Yes, I am
What's the
the
balance?
I think somebody can learn a thing or two from Tanisha.
I am the fixer. I love to resolve things. I
Yeah,
cannot
that's
go to bed. I
Yes.
cannot.
Yeah,
I will annoy him.
Yeah, that's true.
I will annoy the heck out of him just for him. You know, time just for us just to resolve. We can't take
The
it. We can't
issue.
deal it.
Okay.
But you're pointing at me, but it's not that I wouldn't want to make it up quickly. No, it's just because if you don't feel to get over your upset yet, it's very hard on me. So I kind of give him some time to get in the mood of getting over the upset because it
There are times when
embarrasses me.
there are times when he doesn't want to get over the upset, but I don't stop. Yeah.
Need some prayer, Tanisha.
I don't stop.
Live up persistent.
You don't pick up the persistent.
All right. So last one. Who's most likely to wake up when Rhea cries?
Oh.
Our mom is going to say daddy.
No, sir. It's pointed. Who's most likely to do that?
Well,
I think it's I'd say
since
that's
he's here,
50-50.
well, since he's here, I just point everything to him. I'm being honest.
It's time.
For quite a year and something is not around, So as she said, "Mommy," I said, "Tell Daddy."
All right, so that moves in a nice segue into our next question. All right, so how have you guys made it work with the distance?
Well, what we do, we ensure that as early as the morning,
Yes.
we we video call.
Video call.
Right, so we ensure, and if
Communication.
he's not, we communicate
Yeah, we
right
communicate
throughout the day.
Right, through the day.
Yeah, that's
The communication line is open 100%.
Constant.
Yeah.
And if he's not able to talk to me in the morning, as in get a break at work, because there are times if I call, he will decline the call. I know that he cannot talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as he gets a minute or so, he's gonna call.
And he has been away for how long?
beautiful.
I've been away from 1 year and 3 months.
1 year and 3 months.
Yeah.
I think that build intimacy too. As like we were talking the other day, we had a live the other day, and we were talking about an elderly couple that one was bedridden, and the man was bedridden.
Yeah.
So the best intimacy that he had with his wife over the year was like after she wheeled to him, like hug and rub her head. So we were talking on the live about intimacy, how much what is the impact of it other than sexual activity, and it turned out that communicating more, from being absent from each other from a long period of time, it actually brings you closer.
Yeah.
It actually brings you closer together and let the relationship become more meaningful. So that's a good thing.
So the question then now is to say then, how close have you guys been since with the distance in the relationship that you guys currently facing?
Well, I'd say we are very close.
And I pick that up.
Communicating like when we just met. So
Yes.
I mean, we were talking, utilizing the phone. We were talking more.
Mm-hmm.
We were sharing things that happen in our day, every day, and so I'd say that for me, the only thing that would be missing would be the actual
Physical
intimacy.
presence.
Yeah, physical presence. Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I'd say it has been working, and we're going to continue to make it work for the time being.
Excellent.
Could change anything about each other, what would that thing be, if there's anything at all?
I would change him being stubborn, that's all.
So Ray, you have something to work on.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't think I'm that stubborn. Like,
Shall overemphasize.
I'd say that.
Alright, so what is the word that you would change?
Well, for me, I would want her to be more spontaneous.
Jeez, peace. Brian, no, see me your brother for real. Like we just have different ones.
That she already knows what I mean, so I don't even have to go into details. So.
And you understand what I mean. You understand, Tanisha? Just
yes, sir.
So you ladies have something to work on.
Yes.
Alright, so let me ask this question now. On Sundays we see you when you guys are in church, y'all look real nice. So let me ask, who is the most fashion forward?
Me.
Tell him not play with your Tanisha.
Everybody knows that.
Yes.
She's the one who dressed me.
From the day we met until to date, I've been fixing this guy.
She's been dressing me, so.
That's good. That's all right.
And sir, she did a very good job.
Very good job.
I'm shining more. I'm shining more than even the dresser.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So the next question is, how was your faith impacted your marriage? Yeah, so how has walking with the Lord helped the marriage?
Well, impact would definitely be help because I would say definitely add. It definitely add to the marriage. With the faith, definitely add. It doesn't take away from me.
Yes.
Yeah. So it
Go ahead, Tanisha.
brings us closer together. Yeah, it pushes and for me, faith has been helping me a lot in with me being away from my wife. So yeah, the faith walk is a good one.
Go ahead, Tanisha.
Well, for me, it helps, and the very fact that he's not here and we are so far from each other, it even helps me more in terms of I have to be constantly praying.
Right.
Like, I pray for him more than I pray for myself. Always.
Yes.
And I have to be praying because he's not here and the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. And so it do. And even him being here, and I like when he actually, would take charge of prayer, because even though I don't even know that he knows that when he prays, it does something to me and to this home. I love when a man lead.
Yes.
Yes.
There is something about a man that leads in worship.
Yeah.
So for us, we are each other for now, but it brings me closer to the Lord because I have to be constantly praying for us.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I said the devil is a liar.
That is beautiful because that's what every marriage needs to really survive, in my opinion. And when you have that, as you said something that resonates with me about you don't know if he knows that when he leads devotion and so it does something for you. It does. And what it does for me as a woman is that it gives you confidence. It gives you confidence to know that the man is really in charge, not just physically, but spiritually. And it gives you a sense of shield to know that, okay, you don't have to worry about this and you don't have to worry about that because you're on one page.
Yeah.
So what you said, what you guys are saying, it's excellent. It is.
You're doing well, sir.
Yeah.
You're doing well. All right, so the penultimate question. What advice do you have for single persons who are desiring to be married?
Well, I would say to anybody who desires to get married, alright, first of all, ensure that the person who you want to marry wants to marry. Because there are times when person marry and they never want to get married. They get married because of pressure, being in the church and you're not able to just have sex or whatever. So you're kind of married to kind of do your thing. So first of all, know that the person, know where the mind of the person is. That means whenever you get into this thing, you're on one accord. And trust the Lord, seek the Lord, because I have done that and I tell you it works. When you trust the Lord and you ask the Lord, because when we went in prayer and if the Lord, I went with an open mind, and if it was a no, then I wouldn't. I'm being honest, even though I really wanted to marry to him.
Yes.
However, if it was a no, I wouldn't. So you have to, when you're going to the Lord, you go with an open mind, because not because we want this, mean that this is what the Lord wants for us. So trust the Lord and seek the Lord.
Right. And and go ahead, Rayon.
Oh, you're going to ask something?
No, man. Before I get to that, but go ahead.
Communication is key also to persons out there looking to get married. Keep the line of communication open. and being honest and being very respectful to your partner. And I mean, respect also your partner's wishes or even privacy. To say, I remember when we were doing function, a pastor said to us that, look here, you as the man, if you're going somewhere and you tell your wife, say you're going down to the shop and you have to make a stop before you reach the shop, call her and tell her, because one of her friends might see you and say to you, say to her, call her and tell her, look here, I say, Rayon over so and so. And you'd never left communication. Definitely. Keep line of communication open, yeah.
Definitely.
And trust God in whatever. And I mean, put God first in everything that you do. Whatever you do, make sure you guys are on one accord and you acknowledge God in all your doings. And I mean, the rest is history, you know. You direct all your part. Yeah.
This is the last question, but it's a two-part question. So Tanisha, okay. I know that you waited on the Lord, and you've been through some storms, and you're still standing and you waited on the Lord. All right. Now, tell us how was the wait and what kept you? I mean, focusing and refocusing, because I don't think any of us can sit here and say, as Christians, we never made bad steps. But what was it that kept you waiting, kept you refocusing whenever you made a wrong move? And also, know that you are married. Can you unequivocally say it was worth it? I'm enjoying this marriage.
Well, it definitely worth it. Sir, you know me. You know that I have been through.
Yes.
And it wasn't always easy. And I must say, I respect you for even being there for me throughout all those times that I was actually down. There are times when I was down and you came and you called and you were there, and I give the Lord thanks for you, and I can say that without any apology I do. But it was worth the wait, you know. And the thing that kept me, even though I made mistakes, I know the Lord, I met the Lord, and that was one of the things that kept me going. I could remember at one point when I was actually, you know, on probation because of what I did.
Yes.
And I think it was the first time I've actually heard the voice of the Lord when the devil said to me, and I literally, you're not in the choir, so you can do whatever you want to do. I literally hear that.
Wow.
And the Lord said to me, the Holy Spirit said to me, but you have a responsibility with me.
Excellent.
And that was one of the things that let me break up. And yeah, because first might say you're not in ministry anymore, so you can do whatever. But Lord reminded me that day, but no, you don't have a responsibility with just ministry only. You have it with me,
right?
Who is God Almighty. Right. And that was one of the things that kept me focused from that day until this gentleman came along. And it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait.
Yes.
And yes. I am just grateful. I am really grateful to the Lord for him.
Excellent. Rayon. Alright. So you alright. I honestly I know our everybody who is viewing is just encouraged. And those who are single, you are hearing it, and we hope you are encouraged. And if you wait on the Lord, you have good courage, and listen to His voice, you will in due time reap the desires of your heart. Amen. All right. So you guys have the last word. Anything you want to say to those who are listening? Anything at all you want to say? You guys have the last word.
All I can say, like, share, and subscribe.
Excellent. Excellent.
Conversation with the ladies. This is where you can tune in to get solid information. I mean, right. Godly information that can help your marriage, help your relationship, and God bless you all.
Amen.
Thank you.
That's it, Rayon. Anything you want to say?
I think that would cover for both.
That would cover for both. All right. So again, we want to say thank you so
You
much.
guys are welcome, and thank you guys for having us.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And for those who are watching, you would not have known, but at this, we are actually at 11:41 p.m. in the night. This is how close these guys are, and precious these guys are to us. They are willing to stay up and keep recording for us, and not just for us, but for everybody who's watching, because that is what we do here on Conversation. Is we bring you inspiration, we bring you godly conversation, we bring you things to smile about, to laugh about, to have fun about, because the journey of life can be short, and the best way to live it is to live it through Christ and to have fun at the same time. So Tanisha, Rayon, God bless you guys. Rayon, thank you so much again.
You're welcome,
God
man.
bless you. Thanks.
Yeah, man. God bless you all too.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Bye-bye.
It's yet to come.